Hello friends, this is Gaurav Goyal from Lamoksha Investments and I'm going to talk about our September newsletter Paisa Vasool. So the world in the month of September as we saw it from our eyes, starting with US who had its own share of September blues. Most of the major indices in US fell significantly, led by Nasdaq which dropped by almost 5.3%. This was the worst performance of Nasdaq since March 2020 when the COVID crisis started. The S&P 500 index and Dow Jones Industrial Average also fell by almost 4.5%. So if you look at the broader picture, while this correction might look quite significant, but if you look at the broader picture and look at the year till date performance of these indices, they sit well in the double digit. So we are in no way perturbed by the fact that the September was not so good. We continue to remain bullish on US equities. We overall believe that equities is an asset class where investors should be keeping their money. You might not get the same kind of returns as you got in the previous year, but still your returns would be healthy. And US being the engine of all global economies will continue to perform pretty well. So there were a lot of talk about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates and the tapering happening in US, but it turned out to be a rather damp squib, wherein the Federal Reserve was largely dovish in its tone, and though it signaled that there could be hike in interest rates, yet it was not really created a lot of ripples in US markets and the global markets. The 10-year treasury yields did move up to 1.49%, but still was nowhere close to threatening. So the world followed whatever happened in US. Most of the global economies actually shaved off the gains in the month of September. There were other commodities too which did not do too well. The cryptocurrencies led by Bitcoin also tumbled. Of course, Bitcoin has its own share of ups and downs. It fell by almost 7.6% in September. Copper, which is one of the purest indicators of global economic demand, was down by almost close to 6.5%. Energy was a big surprise, led by oil gains, which have risen by almost 50% in the year 2021. Energy sector moved up by 9.3%. So the biggest stage for drama in the month of September continued to be in China, where the government cracked down on the technology, digital space, and education firms largely continued. This was followed by whatever happened with Evergrande, which is a large real estate player in China. And Chinese government actually did not bail Evergrande out, and there was a real big fear of Evergrande defaulting on its obligations. China also banned cryptocurrencies. We can still have a contagion in the real estate space. We don't really know. China still is a black hole in many ways. The data is not really reliable. We don't know what's really happening over there. But whatever is happening on the face of it does not look too good, and it's getting reflected in the performance of the stock markets as well. Chinese neighbor Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, in fact, it's part of China now, so is down 5.6% in September. And surprisingly, for the entire year, when the whole global world is in kind of a bull market, China is down by 9.8%. So there's something definitely not so comfortable that's happening in China, and we should be wary of it. So Europe followed whatever happened in US. It was down, but nothing threatening. India was definitely an outlier. It It charted its own course in the month of September. More the larger indices, mid cap and the small cap indices were up almost by close to 6%. Sensex and Nifty were up by 3% in a month when the global peers did poorly. So it was a great month for equity markets overall. FIs continue to pump money into India. Foreign portfolio investors have added close to 27,000 crores in 2021. The star attraction of the September was the reality sector, coming from the backdrop of almost a decade of non-performance. Reality really stood out with almost close to 30% gains in a single month. Consumer durables, oil and gas, PSU banks, another pleasant surprise, were did fantastically well in the month of September. Metal was one sector which was a laggard. Monsoon ended on officially on September 30th. Heavy rains were witnessed across India. In fact, it was the 8th highest rainfall month in the history, and so we ended as a normal year in 2021. Vaccination continued its momentum. Vaccination drive continued its momentum. We gave almost 24 crores of doses in the month of September. This was a fantastic achievement, especially coming on the back of August, which was again a great month. And globally, we continue to do very well vis-a-vis other countries and other nations, which are probably have far better resources than India, but yet India has done fantastically well, and we should be proud of it. So this is the performance of Nifty 50, which is made up of largest companies in the country. Mid cap is represented by Nifty Mid Cap 100, the small cap index, which is the Nifty Small Cap 100, and the banking sector, which is again an important indicator of India's economic health. So if you look at it on 1 year and a 3-year performance benchmarks, all the sectors have done phenomenally well, especially the mid cap and the small cap sectors. Bank, which was is perhaps the weakest of all the links, but I have a feeling that banks will probably catch up in next 1 year. This is sectoral performance. I've already discussed that. Sectoral performance in the month of September as well as for the full year. So if I have to look into the future and make some predictions, of course there are some concerns, and concerns will always remain with equity markets. There can never be a period when we don't have concerns, but yes, definitely there are some pressing concerns. COVID is definitely one of them, and we're not out of it. We'll have to be closely monitoring the situation over there, especially with Delta variant playing its part in some of the more developed countries. Supply chain issues are also there in the globe, particularly with semiconductors. Inflation is raising its head in some of the countries, and we should be mindful of that. There is this yearly wrangling that happens in US with Democrats and Republicans fighting with each other over passage of certain legislations in US, and this has started once again. I think it would be sorted this month, but it's an issue. Rising oil prices is definitely a concern for India. India imports almost 80% of its energy requirements, so we should be mindful of rising oil prices. Fed minutes might reveal what's happening with the tapering and can cause some issues. China is perhaps the biggest of all the concerns because we really don't know what's happening over there, and the way the Chinese Communist Party, the ruling party, is behaving, it looks very, very uncertain at this point of time. However, we should remember that we are in the midst of a raging bull market. There is nothing which seems to dampen the spirits right now, and we continue to overwhelmingly believe that the reversal in cycle has not happened, and we continue to remain in the bull market, and bears do not have enough muscle to take us out of the bulls take the bulls out at this point of time. However, we should a word of caution for all investors. Indian equity markets valuations are stretched. By no means they are cheap, and we should be mindful of that. And markets are actually a slave of earnings. We believe that there will be robust earnings in this financial year. For Indian corporates, valuations will come down. But at this point of time, if you ask me, yes, we are stretched in terms of valuations. And as a result, it might not be imprudent to book some amount of profit on your portfolio. Maybe a 10% of your overall size of portfolio in equity markets. You can just redeem that and place it as a cautionary investment into some liquid funds. And maybe if market corrects, if it corrects, we are not sure about it, nobody is, but if it corrects, then you can deploy it later. So we strongly believe that we are in a great economic environment in India. FPIs continue to pump money into India. COVID recovery has been very good. We are doing fairly well over there. The vaccination pace is great. Sectors that were really underperforming because of COVID have started to bounce back. Hospitality, tourism, transport, logistics, all of that has started booming back. Banks, financial sectors, there were concerns about the piling debts, but I don't think it's a great worry at this point of time. We might see some great results in the month of October, and hence the falls, if at all, would be limited. Because of whatever is happening in China, this might aid Indian manufacturing. Exports will rise, and foreign institutional investors will look to pump in more money into India in coming months and years. So overall, I'm very optimistic about the way we are faring and what's going to probably happen in markets. We might not see the same kind of returns as we have witnessed in the last year, but we continue to remain bullish, and markets might actually be range bound for next maybe 6 to 12 months. We have advised our clients to book small profits, but does not mean that there is any red signal flashing right now, so be mindful of that. So at Lamos Investments, we run largely main strategies. Sun is our core portfolio. It consists largely of the blue chip, the top 100 company stocks. It's basically a 15 stock portfolio. Companies with very high standards of corporate governance, high growth, low debt, and they are the constant outperformers. We don't churn this portfolio much. It is something which is stable, which is bright and radiant, and it will not give you exorbitantly high returns. It will not fall very much when there's a downturn, but it's something that will give you stability, and that is what is getting reflected in its performance since its inception on June 6th. The chart that you see here is from May 6th of May, which is and includes 1 month backtesting data, and you can clearly see the performance of Sun against Nifty 100, which has done very well. The benchmark has done very well, and Sun on its part has delivered outstanding returns in last since the time it has been incepted, and it has done very well. So Earth continues its great journey. Earth is basically a market agnostic portfolio. It is something which is made up of made of companies with strong fundamentals, quality management, great conducive environment supporting these companies. It also plays on operating leverage. Generally, companies have low debt in the portfolio, and it's something which we are proud of in terms of creating a portfolio which is made up of fundamentally very strong companies. It's meant for long-term play, as most of my portfolios are. I don't really, I'm not a short-term fund manager. I'm a guy who believes in fundamentals and believe in holding stocks for long term to fully realize the potential of the stocks that constitute the portfolio. So Earth again has delivered phenomenal returns. In the chart I've shown the performance of Earth against Nifty multi-cap portfolio as well as the Nifty 100, and as you can see, right through its inception it has done wonderfully well. Never really a time when it has been a laggard vis-a-vis the benchmarks. Moon is the most volatile of all the portfolios because it largely includes the mid and the small cap companies, and it has its own theme, and it largely plays on the corporate turnaround stories. We play a bit of momentum here. We play the turnaround stories. We play cyclical sectors. So there is some amount of churn that happens here, and it is meant for people who are able to digest larger volatility and also at the same time are able to take additional risk in the portfolio. So we would never advocate to put your money in only in Moon. You should. It's a satellite portfolio. To build a satellite, you need to have the core. So just like, possibly you can have Sun and Earth at the center and Moon as a satellite portfolio wherein you put a certain chunk of money over there, but it's not advisable for perhaps a new investor to only put money in Moon. Though it has done phenomenally well since its launch. It's almost up 40% in last 4 months and has beaten the benchmark very well. But be mindful of the fact that it's going to be volatile. It is volatile by nature. The constituents itself are high risk stocks. So be careful while investing into it. But if you are okay with taking this volatility, you are aware of the risk associated with it, then go for it. You won't find a better portfolio than this. So Galaxy was the new entrant we launched in the month of July. It's a free to cost portfolio for all small case users, and it consists of largely 10 stocks handpicked from the top holdings from the previous 3 portfolios that we had, that is the Sun, Moon and the Earth. And since its inception on July 14th, it's given almost double the returns, close to 18.5% against the 10% return given by the relevant benchmarks. So we stand for personalized attention, transparency. I'm a SEBI registered investment advisor, and hence do not get any commission from the product manufacturers or product. I don't work as a product distributor. I am with the client, and therefore I end up giving unbiased advisory, and we are governed by the guidelines given by SEBI under its SEBI regulations for investment advisors, and hence RIA. I'm a RIA, which means a registered investment advisor with SEBI. So our products are generally affordable. The only thing that we bank upon is the trust that we create with our clients. Most of our clients are created through word of mouth, and that is what we stand for as far as our commitment goes. We believe in long-term play of equity markets. We strongly believe that equity markets can give manifold returns provided you invest in the right way without taking shortcuts in life, and some of the quotes that very well define our philosophy are mentioned here. So this is me. I've spent close to 2 decades in the industry, financial industry, worked with some of the best names in the domestic industry as well as abroad. I'm a SEBI registered investment advisor, as I previously told you, and I started on my own in the year 2020, and since then happily doing whatever I enjoy the most. So you can reach me and Lamoksha Investments through various forums like Gmail, YouTube channels, Twitter, LinkedIn, Telegram. We are there on all the possible media channels, so you can take a look at it and decide. You can take a decision to invest accordingly. A customary disclaimer for all of you. Thank you for spending time with us. Hope you liked our monthly newsletter.